My beloved child, you have prayed in moments when no one was watching. You have knelt beside your bed, sat quietly in your room, or whispered my name while driving, working, or walking alone. Sometimes your prayers were full of faith, and other times they were filled with tears. There were moments when you didn't even know what to say, so you simply cried in my presence, hoping that somehow I would understand the pain hidden inside your heart. My child, I understood every moment. I heard the prayers you spoke with confidence, and I also heard the prayers you could only express through silence. I know the burden you have been carrying. I know the dream you have almost given up on. I know the relationship you are asking me to restore. I know the healing you long for. I know the financial pressure that keeps you awake at night. I know the fear that sometimes whispers, nothing will ever change. But listen to me carefully. Do not mistake my silence for my absence. Just because you have not yet seen the answer does not mean I have not heard the prayer. A seed buried beneath the soil does not grow the moment it is planted. Long before it breaks through the surface, something beautiful is happening where no human eye can see. Roots are growing. Strength is developing. Life is forming in complete silence. That is exactly how I often work. While you are waiting, I am working. While you are praying, I am preparing. While you are wondering if heaven has heard you, heaven is already moving in ways beyond your imagination. I want you to remember this tonight. A delayed answer is not a forgotten prayer. Sometimes I answer immediately. Sometimes I answer differently than you expected. And sometimes I ask you to wait because what I have prepared is greater than what you ask for. Do not lose heart because of the waiting. The waiting has a purpose. It is strengthening your faith, shaping your character, and preparing you for the blessing that is on its way. So keep listening, my beloved child, because in the next part, I want to reveal why some of the prayers that seem delayed are actually the ones heaven is working on the most. My beloved child, there is something I need you to understand tonight. Many people believe that if I do not answer their prayers immediately, then I must not be listening. But that is not how my love works. I do not measure time the way you do. While you see days, weeks, or months passing by, I see the complete picture from beginning to end. I know exactly when every answer should arrive. I know what needs to happen before the blessing reaches your hands. I know which doors must close before the right one opens. I know which people must leave before the right people enter your life. Nothing about your story is happening by accident. You have asked me, Lord, why is this taking so long? My beloved child, sometimes a delay is not because I am saying no. Sometimes a delay is my way of protecting you from receiving something before the right season. If I gave you every blessing the moment you asked for it, many of those blessings will become burdens because you would not yet be ready to carry them. I care more about preparing your heart than simply changing your circumstances. Think of an archer pulling back a bow. The arrow must first move backward before it can fly farther than ever before. In the same way, the season that feels like you are moving backward may actually be the very season that is preparing you for the greatest breakthrough of your life. Do not judge your future by your present circumstances. I am still writing your story, and I have not reached the final chapter. There have been nights when you cried yourself to sleep, wondering if anyone understood the pain hidden behind your smile. There were moments when you smiled in front of others while carrying a broken heart inside. You felt alone. You felt forgotten. You felt as though your prayers were disappearing into silence. But my beloved child, every tear you have shed has been seen by me. Every whispered prayer has reached heaven. Every moment you chose to keep believing, even when your faith felt weak, has been precious in my sight. Never think that your prayers are wasted simply because you cannot yet see the answer. Heaven is never inactive. While you are waiting, I am arranging circumstances you cannot see. I am opening hearts you cannot reach. I am removing obstacles you do not even know exist. I am preparing opportunities that will appear at exactly the right moment. What feels like silence to you is often my greatest work taking place behind the scenes. So do not stop praying. Do not stop believing. Do not let disappointment convince you to give up one day before the answer arrives. The enemy wants your faith to grow weak during the waiting, but I want your faith to grow stronger. Every prayer offered with a sincere heart brings you closer to me, and that relationship is more valuable than anything this world can offer. Before we continue, I want to ask you something. Tell everyone in the comments which country you're watching from, and what time it is where you are right now. Your words of faith may encourage someone on the other side of the world who is praying through the same struggle. And if you believe that God hears every sincere prayer, write, Lord, I believe you hear me. Stay with me until the end, because in the next part, I will reveal why the prayer you think has been delayed may already be much closer to its answer than you realize. My beloved child, I know there have been moments when you almost stopped praying, not because you stopped believing in me, but because you became tired of waiting, tired of hoping, tired of asking for the same thing day after day while nothing around you seemed to change. You wondered if heaven had become silent. You questioned whether your prayers were reaching me at all. But my beloved child, let me remind you of this unchanging truth. Every prayer offered in faith reaches heaven. Not one sincere prayer has ever been ignored. Not one tear has fallen without my notice. Even when you cannot see my hand moving, my heart is already working for your good. Many people think I only hear long, perfect prayers filled with beautiful words. But I also hear the quiet whisper that says, Lord, help me. I hear the broken cry of a heart that has no strength left. I hear the silent tears that never become words. I know every emotion hidden behind your smile, because I know you better than anyone else ever could. There have been times when you asked for one specific answer, but I saw something you could not. I saw dangers ahead that you were unaware of. I saw relationships that would have led you away from my purpose. I saw opportunities that looked attractive but would have stolen your peace. Out of my love for you, I closed doors that you desperately wanted to walk through. At the time, it felt like rejection. Today, you may still wonder why those doors never opened. One day, you will look back and realize they were not closed to punish you. They were closed to protect you. That is why you must never judge my love by whether I answer your prayer exactly the way you expected. Sometimes my greatest blessings come disguised as delays. Sometimes my greatest acts of mercy look like unanswered prayers. I always see what you cannot see, and I always work with eternity in mind, not just a day. My child, I also want you to stop measuring my faithfulness by what you see with your eyes. Faith grows strongest when you continue trusting me before the answer becomes visible. Anyone can believe after the miracle happens, but it takes a surrendered heart to believe while the miracle is still on its way. Maybe the answer you are praying for is already closer than you think. Maybe I am arranging one conversation, one opportunity, or one unexpected moment that will change everything. Do not give up now. Do not stop praying just because you cannot yet see the result. The breakthrough often comes after the season when people are most tempted to quit. So tonight, instead of asking, Lord, have you heard me? Ask yourself, am I willing to trust him even while I wait? Because the waiting is not empty. It is filled with my presence. It is filled with my protection. It is filled with my preparation. And when the answer arrives, you will understand why every moment of waiting had a purpose. If these words have encouraged your heart, write in the comments, Lord, I will keep praying. My beloved child, there is another truth I want you to hold close to your heart tonight. Sometimes you think I answer prayers only by changing your circumstances, but often my first answer is changing you. Before I remove the mountain in front of you, I strengthen your faith to climb it. Before I open the door you've been praying for, I prepare your heart to walk through it with wisdom and humility. I know that waiting has not been easy for you. There were days when you smiled in front of everyone, but inside you felt discouraged. There were nights when you lay awake asking, Lord, how much longer? You watched others receive the blessings you had been praying for, and for a moment, you wondered if I had forgotten your name. But my beloved child, I have never forgotten you. I know the exact number of hairs on your head. I know every dream hidden in your heart. I know every fear you've never shared with another person. Nothing about your life escapes my attention. The prayer you whispered months ago is still precious to me today. Do not compare your journey with someone else's. Every person has a different assignment, a different season, and a different purpose. What I am doing in their life is not what I am doing in yours. If you keep looking at someone else's blessings, you may miss the beautiful work I am doing in your own life. Remember the farmer who plants a seed. He does not dig it up every morning to see if it is growing. He trusts the process. He waters it, protects it, and waits patiently because he knows growth is happening beneath the surface. That is the kind of faith I want you to have. Even when you cannot see results, keep believing. Even when your emotions tell you to give up, keep praying. Even when the answer seems delayed, keep trusting. Because heaven is never idle. While you are waiting, I'm aligning people, opening the right doors, closing the wrong ones, and arranging circumstances in ways you cannot yet imagine. I am working in places your eyes cannot see and in hearts you cannot reach. One conversation, one opportunity, one unexpected moment can completely change the direction of your life. Never underestimate what I can do in a single day. So tonight, instead of focusing on what you don't have, thank me for what I have already done. Gratitude opens your heart to peace. A thankful heart sees my fingerprints even in the waiting. Before we continue, I want you to encourage someone else. Tell everyone in the comments which country you're watching from and what time it is where you are right now. Your message of faith may remind someone across the world that they are not waiting alone. And if you believe that God is already working behind the scenes, right, Lord, I trust your perfect timing. Stay with me, because in the next part, I will reveal why the blessing you've been praying for may be much closer than you think, even if you cannot see any evidence of it yet. My beloved child, there is something you have been asking me that you may not even realize. Every time you prayed, Lord, change my situation, your heart was also asking, Lord, are you still with me? And today, I want to answer that question once and for all. Yes, my beloved child, I am with you. I have never left your side, not for a single moment. I was with you when you celebrated your greatest victories, and I was with you during the nights when no one knew how much you were hurting. I was there when tears rolled down your face in silence. I was there when you smiled in front of others while carrying burdens too heavy to explain. Even when you felt abandoned, my hand never stopped holding you. You often think that because you cannot see me working, nothing is happening. But some of my greatest miracles begin in complete silence. Just as the roots of a mighty tree grow deep beneath the ground long before anyone sees its branches, I have been working beneath the surface of your life. I have been strengthening your faith, protecting your future, and preparing blessings that are bigger than what you have imagined. There are people I am already positioning to help you. There are opportunities one am preparing that you cannot yet see. There are prayers you prayed months ago that are still unfolding according to my perfect timing. Nothing has been forgotten. Nothing has been delayed without purpose. My child, do not allow disappointment to become your identity. One unanswered prayer does not mean I have stopped listening. One difficult season does not mean I have stopped loving you. One closed door does not mean your future has been closed. Sometimes I close a door because I see the danger behind it. Sometimes I delay the answer because I am protecting you from receiving less than my best. Trust that I see what you cannot see, and I know what tomorrow holds before tomorrow even begins. I also want you to stop believing the lie that your faith is too small for me to wake. You may feel weak. You may have doubts. You may even wonder if your prayers are enough. But remember, I have always worked through ordinary people who simply chose to trust me one day at a time. I am not asking you to have perfect faith. I am asking you to keep your heart open and continue walking with me. So tonight, before you fall asleep, thank me not only for the blessings you have already received, but also for the answers that are still on their way. Gratitude is an act of faith. It declares that you trust me before you see the miracle. If this message is spoken to your heart, write in the comments, Lord, I believe you are working for my good. Then stay with me until the end, because in the next part, I want to share a promise that can give you peace while you wait in confidence that your prayers have never been in vain. My beloved child, I know there are moments when you wonder whether your prayers have truly reached heaven because your circumstances still look the same. Every morning you wake up hoping today will be different. Every night you go to sleep carrying the same burden, asking the same questions, and waiting for the same answer. But my beloved child, do not let what you see determine what you believe. There is so much happening beyond what your eyes can perceive. While you are waiting in faith, I am arranging events that must happen at exactly the right time. I am preparing people you have not yet met. I am opening hearts that once seemed closed. I am removing obstacles you never even knew were standing in your way. My work is often invisible before it becomes undeniable. Remember this. I am never late. What feels like a delay to you is often my perfect timing. If I answered every prayer the moment you asked, you might receive something before you were ready to handle it. Because I love you, I do not only think about today's comfort. I think about your future, your purpose, and the person I am shaping you to become. There have been times when you look back and realize that what you once begged me for would not have been good for you after all. At first, you called it disappointment. Later, you recognize it as protection. In the same way, one day you will understand why certain answers took longer than you expected. You will see that my timing was never meant to frustrate you. It was meant to bless you in the best possible way. So do not allow impatience to steal your peace. Instead of asking, Lord, when will my answer come? Begin asking, Lord, help me trust you while I wait. That kind of faith transforms your heart. It allows you to experience peace even before the miracle arrives, because your confidence is no longer in your circumstances. It is in me. I also want you to remember that no prayer offered with a sincere heart is ever wasted. Every word spoken in faith has value. Every tear has meaning. Every moment you chose to seek me instead of giving up has brought you closer to my presence. Even when the answer is different from what you expected, I am always working for your good. Tonight, release the pressure of trying to figure everything out. You do not need to carry tomorrow's burden today. Place your worries into my hands and rest, knowing that I am already taking care of what concerns you. While you sleep, I will continue working. While you rest, my plans will continue unfolding. If this message has strengthened your faith, write in the comments, Lord, I trust your perfect plan. Stay with me, because in the next part, I want to share a powerful promise that will remind you why your greatest breakthrough may be closer than you have ever imagined. My beloved child, there is one more truth I want to place deep within your heart tonight. You have been waiting for me to answer your prayer. But have you considered that while you were waiting, I was preparing you for an answer greater than you imagined? You see only the prayer you offered. I see the life that prayer will affect. I see the people your testimony will encourage. I see the doors that will open because you chose to remain faithful when it would have been easier to give up. Nothing you have endured has been meaningless. Every delay has taught you patience. Every disappointment has drawn you closer to me. Every tear has watered the seeds of a future blessing. Do not believe the lie that your waiting has been wasted. I never waste the pain my children place in my hands. Even the hardest seasons can become part of a beautiful testimony that points others toward hope. My beloved child, I know there were moments when you almost stopped praying. You became discouraged because each day looked exactly like the one before it. You wondered if anything was changing at all. But remember this, the sunrise begins long before you can see the first light. In the same way, many of my greatest answers begin long before you recognize them. Just because you cannot see movement does not mean heaven is standing still. Even now, I am working behind the scenes. I am aligning circumstances, softening hearts, opening doors, and removing obstacles you know nothing about. Trust me with what you cannot see. Faith was never meant to depend on visible evidence. Faith grows strongest when you continue believing even while the answer is still on its way. Do not allow fear to speak louder than my promises. Fear will tell you that nothing is changing, but I tell you that I am making all things work together for good for those who love me and continue to trust me. So tonight, stop counting the days you've been waiting. Instead, remember the countless times I've already carried you through impossible situations. If I was faithful then, I will be faithful again. My character has never changed, and my promises never fail. Before we continue, I want you to encourage someone else who may be waiting for their breakthrough. Tell everyone in the comments which country you're watching from, and what time it is where you are right now. Your message may remind someone across the world that they are not praying alone. And if you believe that God is already preparing your answer, write, Lord, I believe my breakthrough is coming. Stay with me, because in the next part, I want to share a final promise that will give you peace, strengthen your faith, and remind you why your prayers have never been forgotten in heaven. My beloved child, as we come closer to the end of this message, I want you to quiet your heart and truly listen to my voice. For too long, you have allowed fear to speak louder than faith. You have listened to doubt, disappointment, and discouragement until they almost convince you that your prayers had gone unheard. But today, I want to replace those lies with my truth. Your prayers have reached heaven. Not one has been ignored. Not one has been forgotten. Not one has fallen to the ground without my notice. Even when you felt weak, I was your strength. Even when you felt alone, I was beside you. Even when you believed nothing was changing, I was already preparing tomorrow's blessing. My beloved child, do not underestimate what I can accomplish in a single moment. I can change what people say is impossible. I can restore what has been broken for years. I can open doors that no person has the power to shut. I can bring peace where anxiety has ruled, joy where sorrow has remained, and hope where disappointment has taken root. But I also want you to understand something important. The greatest miracle is not always the answer you receive. It is a relationship you build with me while you are waiting. Many people seek my hand because they want a blessing, but I desire that you seek my heart. When you draw close to me, you discover a peace that does not depend on circumstances. You learn that my presence is greater than your fears and that my promises are stronger than your doubts. Perhaps your answer will come tomorrow. Perhaps it will come next week. Perhaps it will arrive in a way you never expected. Whatever the timing, never stop believing that I am faithful. My promises do not expire, and my love for you never changes. I have not brought you this far to leave you now. So tonight, release every burden you have been carrying. Stop trying to solve everything on your own. Place your family, your future, your health, your finances, and every unanswered prayer into my hands. Trust that I know exactly what you need and exactly when you need it. Before we finish, I want to ask you one more thing. Tell everyone in the comments which country you're watching from and what time it is where you are right now. Someone reading your comment may be encouraged to keep praying because they realize they are part of a worldwide family of faith. And if you believe that God has heard your prayer, write, Lord, I receive your perfect will. Stay with me until the very end, because in the final part, I will leave you with a short prayer and one promise from my heart that I pray you will carry with you for the rest of your life. My beloved child, before this message comes to an end, I want you to be still for just a little longer. Do not rush away. Do not allow the worries of tomorrow to steal this moment we have together. Instead, let my words settle deeply into your heart, because what I am about to remind you of is something you will need not only tonight, but for every season of your life. You have spent so much time asking me to answer your prayers that sometimes you have forgotten something very important. Every prayer you have prayed has also been changing you. Every moment you chose to seek me instead of giving up has strengthened your faith. Every tear you cried in my presence became an act of trust, even when you felt too weak to believe. You thought you were simply waiting for an answer. But while you were waiting, I was teaching you to depend on me more than your circumstances. I was teaching you that real peace is not found in having every problem solved. Real peace is found in knowing that the one who holds the universe is also holding your life. My beloved child, there will always be questions you cannot answer. There will be moments when life does not make sense. There will be prayers that take longer than you expected. But never allow what you do not understand to make you doubt what you already know. You already know that I have been faithful. Look back over your life. Remember the battles you thought would destroy you. Remember the nights when you believed you would never smile again. Remember the situations that seemed impossible. Yet here you are today. You may not be where you want to be, but you are no longer where you once were. I carried you through every valley, every disappointment, every setback, and every storm. If I remained faithful through all of those seasons, why would I abandon you now? I will not. I cannot. My love does not change with your circumstances. When you succeed, I am with you. When you fail, I am with you. When you feel strong, I am with you. When you feel broken, I am with you. There has never been a single second of your life when my eyes were not upon you. Even now, while you are listening to these words, I'm already preparing tomorrow. I know the conversations you will have before you speak them. I know the opportunities that are coming before you see them. I know the challenges you will face, and I have already promised to give you the strength you need when they arrive. That is why you do not have to live in fear. You do not have to carry tomorrow's burdens tonight. Leave them with me. Rest in my promises. Walk forward in faith instead of fear. And whenever doubt tries to whisper that your prayers have been forgotten, remember this truth. Heaven has heard every word. The answer may not always come in the way you imagined. It may not arrive on the timetable you created. But my answer will always come with perfect wisdom, perfect love, and perfect timing. One day you will look back and realize that every delay protected you, every closed door redirected you, and every season of waiting prepared you for something far greater than you could have planned for yourself. So do not stop praying. Do not stop believing. Do not stop hoping. Your faith is not in vain. Your prayers are not wasted. Your story is not over. Now, before we finish, I want you to encourage someone else who may be reading the comments. Tell everyone which country you're watching from and what time it is where you are right now. Your simple comment may remind someone across the world that they are not praying alone. And if you believe with all your heart that God has heard your prayers, right, Amen, my prayer has reached heaven. Thank you for spending these moments with me. If this message strengthened your faith, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another daily message of hope and encouragement. Never forget this promise. I hear you. I see you. I love you. I am working for your good, even when you cannot yet see it. Go in peace, my beloved child. I am with you today, tomorrow, and always.